Prime MJF is back, finally, and I'm delighted by it. Megan Bayne and Chris Statlander put on an absolute banger. Oh, and Toni Storm, well, she's still hilarious. I'm Ben Allison, you're watching Allison Analysis, and here are my 5 key findings from last night's episode of AEW Dynamite. In at number 5, can we please make this the permanent commentary team for Dynamite? Ian Riccaboni, Taz, and Excalibur together last night. Honestly, it was brilliant. There was no talking over each other. There was no waffling on about unrelated things. They just very simply called the action and had some fun while doing so. It shouldn't be a hard concept, but for some reason, in AEW, it has been, and JR joined later on. And just to be crystal clear, right, I'm a big Jim Ross fan, but nowadays, he just can't stay focused on a match. Like, when he joined them for the main event, he was waffling on about stuff that happened earlier on in the night, rather than focusing on the match which he was actually brought in to call. And Tony Schiavone is absolutely awesome too, and he is a massive part of AEW. But especially when he's with Excalibur, the two just go off on tangents nowadays. It just doesn't really work for me. So Ian Riccaboni, Excalibur, and Taz, I do think is the way going forward. The only thing I maybe would say is maybe make Ian the lead and have Excalibur be one of the side ones, just because, I don't know, I feel like that might work a little bit better, as Ian Riccaboni is such a good play-by-play commentator. In at number 4, can we please see a best of 7 series between Chris Statlander and Megan Bayne? I'm going to be honest, when this was announced yesterday, I was absolutely fuming about it. Not because I didn't want to see it, but because I wanted to see it so much. When Megan Bayne first joined AEW, Chris Statlander was the match that everybody said they wanted. So I was really hoping, especially after what we've seen in recent weeks, that we were going to get a long build leading to a pay-per-view match or even a Dynamite main event. But instead, they really rushed it along and just did it last night. But as expected, the two absolutely killed it. So you know what, right? If they weren't going to do a big build for this, screw it. Best of 7 series, please. It would be so much fun. It would be a great showing for both of these ladies. And yeah, it would just be a heck of a lot of fun for us fans. But of course, Penelope Ford helped Megan Bayne get the win, and then Thunder Rosa came out and kind of helped Chris Statlander, and there was a really awkward chair spot, which we'll pretend never happened. But clearly that tag match is what's on the horizon, and I'm sure that will be a lot of fun as well. But after that, please 6 more matches between Megan Bayne and Chris Statlander. In at number 3, Orange Cassidy versus Roderick Strong was far too random to be a main event. I like both guys, and it was a fun match, but it was just a very classic mid-card Dynamite match, right? It was a number 1 contenders match, chucking in the middle of the card, a lot of fun, awesome. But when they said this was going to be the main event, I honestly presumed there was going to be some big promo with other people after the match or something. I was like, surely this isn't actually going to be the ending of the show, but it was. Like, if it was a number 1 contenders match between Orange Cassidy and, I don't know, Kenny Omega, or Will Ospreay and MJF in a number 1 contenders match, okay, that's such a huge match, making it the main event makes sense. But Roderick Strong isn't the main event in AEW, or at least he hasn't been presented that way thus far. And I mean, out of any matches on this card, I would have said Powerhouse Hobbs and Big Bill should have been the main event, as their match was great, and at least there's been a real big build. Big Bill, towards that match. So I would have been okay with that being the main event. But Roderick Strong versus Orange Cassidy, it just didn't feel like a main event. But before we go any further, if you guys could please leave a like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already, that would be massively appreciated. Here at Wrestling Republic, we do between 5 to 10 free videos per week, and in addition to that, we have a live daily stream every single day at 8 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. Easter over in the land of the United States, and 12 p.m. Pacific in the United States as well. I hope to see you guys there. In at number 2, I found the constant camera cuts and camera angles far too distracting. Now, before we get into this point, I think it's really important to clarify that I've looked online and some people loved it. Others hated it, but some people did love it as well, right? So this is clearly dividing opinion, but this is just my own. But for me, the moving hard cam, it just didn't work. And I don't mind a hard cam facing a stage. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but it's all right, okay? Like, it's fine. But it was just felt like it was too high, and it was moving constantly. It was more of a soft cam, if anything. And then there was constant camera cuts as well. It really felt like Kevin Dunn was in control of this or something. And the fact that on the left of the screen all night long, you could see an area which was clearly taped off to be the hard cam area, I mean, that just looked like an eyesore all night as well. But listen, I don't mind AEW trying new stuff. They are a competitor brand, but I really hope they don't do this specific one again. I really hope that's not the case. And in at number 1, the MJF and Hangman Page promo was AEW at its best. MJF hasn't had his best year. In fact, he's probably had his worst 12 months since he started his pro wrestling career. But last night, he was back to his best, and I'm so glad. Meanwhile, Hangman Page has had a fantastic 12 months, and it continued last night as he was brilliant on the mic as well, and the two together, it was simply magic. I said this last week, but I will repeat myself right now. MJF should bring the babyface back out of Hangman Page, and last night it really did look like they're going to do that. Hangman Page is the face of AEW, and in my opinion, he should be the one to end the Death Riders and to dethrone Jon Moxley as the AEW champion. I know a lot of people want it to be Darby Allin. I predict it will be Darby Allin, but at the end of the day, Darby Allin got thrown down some stairs, disappeared off TV, has gone to climb a mountain, and then he's going to try and come back to save the day. He's no hero. Of course, this is purely from a kayfabe perspective, right? In reality, what Darby's doing is absolutely awesome. But from a purely kayfabe perspective, Hangman, I think, makes more sense to be the guy. But now let's get into the pros and cons from last night's Dynamite. Let's start with the pros, and like I just said, MJF and Hangman Page was the best promo for quite some time, and the commentary team was awesome as well. The Tony Storm promo was absolutely hilarious. Honestly, I love Tony Storm, and Big Bill versus Powerhouse Hobbs was extremely fun. The Death Rider segments still are getting repetitive, but Cope's promo at the end of it last night was still very good. And Megan Bayne versus Chris Statlander, I've already commented on it, but it was just amazing, wasn't it? And also, Ricochet's heel promos are getting better by the week. He's beat the meme allegations in my opinion. I think he's doing a great job as a heel. As for the cons, like I said, the camera angles, also the name Ops for Shibata, Huck, and Samoa Joe, for me, it just feels a bit cringe. Maybe I'm in the minority on that one, but they just don't seem like Ops, do they? And like I said, OC and Roderick Strong was a fun match, but it being the main event, it just didn't work. And Kenny Omega taking about 5 minutes to make the save on Orange Cassidy, I thought was also a little bit overkill. But even still, I really enjoyed last night's AEW Dynamite. It was one of those Dynamites where it was just fun from start until finish, and that is the best kind of the Dynamites. Was there some issues? Of course there was, but it was fun and I enjoyed watching it, and undoubtedly at the end of the day, that is what it's all about. So you know what? I'll give it a subtle round of applause. But what did you guys think of the show? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and as always, I will be responding to them as well. I hope to see you guys next time. Peace!